Hello, people and bots. Grandpa Canuck here, and we are in Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice mod, and this is the Germany late war start playthrough, part 11. It's June 1943, and we have to face a decision of when we want to go to war with the Soviet Union. They have canceled the non-aggression pact with us, and we need to decide, do we want to fight a defensive war, or do we want to actually attack them and move in? We have a 2.7 million man army. Our Air Force is not cutting it. We only have 1,500, of which 5, 8, 9, 1050 is fighters. We have nowhere near as many fighters as the Allies, and we will not be able to get air superiority over Russia and maintain defense against Allied bombing. I think we have the Allied bombing in check for the most part. It is affecting us somewhat. And things are progressing in Norway. Now, yes, it's June 43, but we haven't started the war with USSR. We didn't go to war until April 1942, so we've been at war just over a year. So we're in that gap where we haven't moved into the Balkans or USSR yet. Italy is closing in on taking the Suez Canal in Cairo. It hasn't quite done it, but it's getting close. It has done very, very well, Italian East Africa. We lost the Deutschland that was operating in the Indian Ocean, so we've moved out the Prince Eugen to replace it, and it's doing just as good a job. We have lost a couple of large cruisers. And our production is going okay. We have 3 aircraft carriers under production, two CVs and a CVL. Sorry, 4, two CVLs, and they will not be available till early 1945, February and March. That's the CVLs. The CVs were ready in June of 44. So a year from now, we'll have aircraft carriers. And that should change the tide of how we fight the Battle of the Atlantic. We're going to get a fuel and some heavy trucks from Italy. I don't think I changed my mobilization. I did not. We need to go to a war economy. Modern battle fleet. We'll do the reintegration. And we have new research. Destroyer and escort improvements. Convoy sailing. Submarine torpedo tactics. Capital doctrine. I think we'll go for the destroyer anti-submarine tactics. Or the convoy sailing. Submarines are doing okay. Now, what do we want to do here? $29 points. Not quite enough to do anything great. And we are down on steel, so guess we need to do something small. Let's go with another convoy escort. Actually, submarine. No. We need a new submarine design. Let's just go with an escort. Not that we're going to get anywhere fast with it. Where? There it is, training fleet. $38, very slow, very low. I think all I need is annoying metals. Yep. Fall of Cairo. Way to go. Messerschmitt 155. Oh, where do we go from here? Airframe and canopy. Better airframe, can't do the canopy. Schmidt 155. Here we go. There's the destroyer escort. We'll start making new ones. We also have the submarine. Can't quite get the snorkel. Go for the noise reduced coating. Static AA. So many things we need. Panzer II AA mount. I think we'll go with that. Nice. Oh, we got a cruiser sub. Midget turned. Okay. Okay, so we need a new unit here. The Norway Defense Force. You know what? Go ahead, Kesselring. Take charge of that. That can be all added to the Northern Defense Force. Who has that? Modal? No. This guy does. They can all go in there. And you are part of the Eastern Supports. He's a Panzer leader. I guess Spearhead Specialist. Oh, combined arms. Not the best officer for that. Put you in there. Opens 1. That could be reinforced. 4 units. Balkan Southern Front is too far down. We have a new set of units coming along. Probably going to have to break the mobile forces into 3 units. Ooh, that's a Japanese aircraft battle. The Americans lost a battleship, the California, and a fleet carrier in the Atlantic. Thank you, Japan. I guess I was involved in the action. American aircraft carrier gone in the Atlantic. That is nice. Nice to know the Japanese can still strike in 43. Aluminum. It's 1% ahead. Okay, so let's look at that new submarine. We now have a level 4 possible submarine. One SS advanced. this to be better than Type 10s. Okay, the range was long. I need at least a long with this. And it was an 8 and 1. Range is a little more. Hey, Captain. Sorry that you've been away that long. Boy, that's very Canadian of you to apologize for something like that. I thought only us Canadians apologize for silly things like that. But you're sorry that you've been away. Okay. No problem. Well, you can catch all the gameplay on my YouTube channel. This is 4th generation sub. I'm a little bit behind on my sub technology. No torps? No, we have torps. They're there. Just comparing it to the last sub that I made, which I called a Type 10. So a little bit more fuel usage. Surface visibility is the same. Surface detection is better. Sub visibility is better. It's lower. Anti-air is the same. Torpedo attack is just slightly better. Oh yeah, I haven't nuked them yet. I'm just up to the point where I'm starting to make 2 nuclear reactors. It'll be 1945 before they're done. But we are making nuclear reactors. So the attack and piercing, but the torpedo attack is slightly better. We have a better speed, a better range of a couple of 100 kilometers. Organization is the same. Strength is better. Reliability is better. And I probably could cut down on the engine a little bit. You want to see your Air Force. My Air Force has had a very rough time. I'm fighting a defensive air war. And I'll show them to you, sure. Okay. The starting torpedo boats. I have more escorts. I built these escorts in 1941 as anti-submarine convoy escorts. So these are my little small convoy escorts. I built a second line of destroyers. I built more very few, some large cruisers, but I've lost a couple. My submarines, I still have a lot of older ones, but half of them are the newer Type 10s. I have 3 large cruisers in operation and the battleships. Now, what is under construction for the Navy? Well, I have 2 aircraft carriers coming. Well, the first thing up is another pocket battleship in December 43. I then, in April 44, have 2 aircraft carriers, early models, that are coming out. Another pocket battleship for September 44, and November 44, and December 44, 2 light aircraft carriers. So I have 2 full aircraft carriers coming in April 44 and 2 light aircraft carriers that are more modern coming in late 1944. So with any luck, I'll have 2 heavy and 2 light aircraft carriers by the end of 1944. Another pocket battleship. Cruiser rating has been going really, really well. And I'm making some smaller ships, destroyers, submarines, escorts, etc. So everything's going well there. The production of the Air Force, 51 fighter factories. I have 3 medium bomber factories, 2 Stukas, a flying boat, the heavy naval bomber, 1 fast bomber, and I'm building very, very slowly. I just got a new carrier fighter. I have some built already. Naval bomber and naval Stuka dive bomber. I have started making some night fighters to help fight there. So I am having the carrier bomber, the carrier close air support, and fighters. So the carrier bomber is a torpedo bomber. So that's that. Tank production in 1943. Still producing 3s and a very limited amount of 2s. I'm still doing the 4s as close support tanks. Still making a few cavalry tanks, armored recovery vehicles, using a Panzer III model for the assault guns. I'm just about to outphase the Panzer I anti-aircraft, but I've converted hundreds of those. I have Marder III medium tank destroyers that I'm making now. I have my second model of Tiger 1s, and I'm also having some Jagdpanzer 3 as well. So tank destroyers are getting built. I actually have 2.7 million armed forces that are out there. 357 medium assault guns in 3 classes. 400 medium close support tanks. 75 cavalry tank destroyers. 500 light self-propelled anti-air. I have a slightly upgraded model, but not many of them. 250 light tank destroyers, split pretty much between the Marder 2s and the Panzer 1s. 1,520 medium tanks. This is across the board from some captured units through to the 1942 model. 1,590 light tanks, majority of which is the 38s, but I have almost 500 of the 41s there. 200 heavy tanks. Now it's about 100 of the Tiger 1s, but I have a number of captured French ones. And I have a second, slightly better Tiger 1 that I started making in 43 in April, just a couple months ago. So I have some captured French ones, as well as my Tiger 1s, and 878 cavalry tanks of different sorts. So when you add this up, 750, 825, 1325, 1575, 3,100, 4,000, 4,700, 4,900, 5,000, 6,000. So over 6,000, 6,100 armored fighting vehicles in the front. I also have over 3,000 mechanized as well, and over 14,000 trucks. Over 900 heavy artillery, 1,100 medium artillery, 200 mountain artillery, and 6,500 light artillery pieces. That's a rundown. When will I declare on the USSR? Probably 1944, unless they declare war on me first. But later is better, because I get closer to nuclear bombs and long range and rockets. So if I have long range bombs and rockets, then I can hit Leningrad, Moscow, and Stalingrad from here. So later rather than sooner is my battle plan. On trade, of course, I do have oil difficulties. I am self-sufficient on rubber. I do have an adequate amount of oil. Definitely can get everything else. I do not need any bauxite or iron coming in at all. All I rely on Sweden is the the special metals. And so far the food has been just fine. So I'm getting in enough oil when I'm at peace. When I have prolonged war and I'm getting some special resources in from the Soviet Union. So it's going to be resource difficult once I go to war with the Soviet Union. Italy has just captured Cairo. So they're about to close in on the canal here. And they've held on to, they've taken the Horn, and they've held their ground in East Africa. So they did an invasion over here, and they came around. Romania has not joined me yet, but it should join me soon. Hungary is in the alliance. And all I have going on right now is this wonderful little war up here. So Norway is 89% of the way to capitulation. So 323 days, and I will actually have nuclear weapons production capability. I won't have the reactors done, but I will have the technology in June of 1944 of how to make an atom bomb. I won't have the reactors done yet, but we're progressing on that. Combat engineer. I'm behind on my tank guns because I didn't build medium anti-tank 5-centimeter guns. Everything else is progressing along okay, as you would predict. The V1 rockets are available for use in 82 days. I can start producing them. I already have a site to fire them in Pas-de-Calais. Here. And here you can see I have, in these two locations, nuclear reactors getting built. So that's the overview of the war. I have some extra units here now. Okay. And I forgot to do this. Colonies of Vichy, France. This one ship is just devastating shipping in the Indian Ocean. You caught it once and sunk it. Light fighters. Training. Okay. Anybody pretty much done? Here are the carrier fighters. Here are the fast bombers. You don't need to train anymore. Put you down here. Yeah, well, it's not that great here either. Okay, so this guy is done. And he can go to home defense. These guys are only partial trained. So I've been struggling trying to get my fighters trained and cover the air. Okay, you're trained as well. Okay, you are building up. That's the light bombers. They don't need to train anymore. And we're preparing our fighters or bombers that we do have for an attack on Yugoslavia. And we'll move the fighters down there at the last minute. The snow doesn't melt the moment it touches the ground. Do you have real winters? Yes, we have real winters. Even here in southern Ontario, we may not get snow on the ground the entire winter. We've been known to have some unusual thaws, especially in the last 10, 15 years. Traditionally, though, even here in the warmest part of southern Ontario, we can have snow on the ground for 2 or 3 months at a time, particularly in January, February. But we can have we can have light snow that stays on the ground. It has been known to occur in early April, and it has been known to occur as early as late October, but usually mid-November. And our November, Decembers with global warming could be a lot milder than they used to be. And because of the lake effect we have here, the weather coming off of the lakes, when the lakes get really cold in the winter, we get huge blizzards that come off of Lake Huron. And if the weather's coming from the south and it's early winter, the Lake Erie is still warm, and it can put a milding effect onto us. So we're very much, we can change temperature from summer to winter, almost like a cool summer to a mild winter in 24, 48 hours very easily here. Okay, I am finally keeping on top of this air war. I have not shipped anything to Norway for air. But yeah, we typically have let me see. There's a link with some pretty pictures. These are nice pictures of winter. We are notorious for ice storms. Here in this part of the world. So there's some nice ice storm pictures from my region. So yeah, I have over my life, lived through uh, some major ice storms where it has come down, destroyed all the hydro lines, and I think that was in the 70s. It was the biggest one, and there were many houses around that didn't even have electricity for 10 days on the edge of the city, and the entire city was without power for 2-3 days. Now we had a fairly mild winter this last winter. So yeah, I know what winter is. Do, do, do. Integrate them. Why do I even need to do that? It's 105 days. We're going to do it anyway. Okay, another sub. Energy's okay. That guy's beat up. May not get that one. Huh. Well, I'm gonna have to get to at least Trondheim, if not higher. I doubt I'm gonna have to go all the way to Narvik, but I may have to. Oh boy. One more fighter unit. There's 150 more fighters in training. Okay, 11 more. Ah. I got a significant increase here. Okay, so now I'm going to have an energy shortage. $20 more aluminum. Yeah, just a slight shortage. Saw that coming. Another 10 transports there. Another 5 there. All that's one ship. Just so impressed with hunting in the Indian Ocean. Okay, we have pocket battleship. Well, that one needs to be upgraded. We've got 2 pocket battleships, 2 escorts, which are done. Move them out here. And we have a shit ton of submarines. Okay. Let's assign a new commander. Not enough points yet. And we want you to convoy rating here, here, here. And here. Okay. That's good. Coaxial MG. Panzer 3-4 hybrid. Panzer 4. That would allow me to make the Elephant. I don't have a gun for the casemate of the Panther yet. I'm going to do those as AAs. Don't necessarily need that. Do that one. Okay. Another 18. Gee. Okay, there's the open AA mount on the Panzer IIs. Well, I need to go for that. Okay, so we can now... Well, what Panzer IIs do we have stock in? Light tanks. Mostly French. So we need to get the French in line. And it looks like they're all 41s. Okay. So we need to... not there. There. take this Panzer II. Change it to this. Oh, I can't do that. It has to be this one. So anti-air. Let's give it a smoke discharge. Don't need to go with that, but I do want to give it more armor. Whoops. I don't need to give it skirts as an anti-aircraft unit. You have a big question. A big question. Oh, okay. What is your big question? Oh, I don't like talking about modern political things. I don't think this is the place. This is a place for hobbies and relaxation, not opinions on current things. I will say I'm surprised it took this long for an incident to happen in the last year of the current political situation in the United States. I'm not surprised it happened, I guess. And that's about all I'd like to say. Just my knowledge of the culture, the American culture. First time chat. Big Walking Night. You're new to this game. Can you explain what's going on? Well, to start with, I'm playing with a mod called Black Ice, which makes the game a lot more encompassing. I can tell you little things that are going on, but I'm a very specialized version of the game here using Black Ice mod, and I'm midway through the war, and it's a late start. So I've created an alternate history here of Germany not starting World War II until 1942. And in Black Ice, there's a lot more things like designing your tanks and things that are more complex. If you want to know about the Black Ice mod, you can look up my YouTube channel and look at the tutorials. I would definitely look for tutorials on starting. My advice to a new player, don't play Italy in the beginning. Play a small country. Play Romania, Hungary, Finland, the first 1 or 2 times that you play. But as a newbie, as somebody else said in chat, this is a hard mod. And if you want to know about it because you want ultra realistic and you want to understand the complexities of resources turning into equipment, equipment turning into divisions, divisions turning into how you conduct an offensive, all those things are interrelated. Then Black Ice is the mod. Flak Panzer IIs. We are going to convert this to Flak Panzer IIs. But basic question, what's going on? I was designing a tank. Germany has conquered France and the lowlands. Denmark, it's invaded Norway. And I'm sitting on the verge of deciding when I'm going to attack the USSR. So in a nutshell, that's what's going on. Italy has had a good war, and it's closing in on, it's taken Cairo, and it's closing in on taking the Suez Canal, and it has held East Africa quite substantially. But look up very basic tutorials and make sure that they have been done in the last, I'd say, 4 months. Make sure they're at least this year, 2024. Because there's new DLCs, there's slightly new things that have been added to the game over the years, and a 8 or 9 year old introductory tutorial may have a couple of confusing things. But it's a great strategy game, and if you like the complexities of war, it's a great game. I'm a retired military historian. I have been gaming since I was 5 years old. I've been doing board strategy games since the mid-'70s, and playing a lot of this kind of stuff over my life. I have thousands of hours in this game, mostly on this mod. So I'm not an entry-level streamer for new questions. That's not the best thing for me to answer. So, Captain, did those images of southern Canadian winters tell you what you wanted to know about weather around my neighborhood? I'm also a bit of a micromanager on this. Improved Army group. You don't think Hoi 4 is fun anymore? You mean the game in its entirety? Or the vanilla version of the game? Oh, okay, DLCs. Well, they're on sale right now. They just announced a sale the other day on. Okay, there's my units. Training 2. Where's Steiner? Yeah, okay, I know you can't buy them all. The first DLC that deals with the Commonwealth is a very, very good DLC. I enjoyed that one. What it added to the game a lot more than most of the others. The one involving Italy had lower ratings, but I thought it was okay. Not overly impressed with the China one, because I've never done just the Chinese campaign. Man the Guns and the Resistance. Yeah, La Resistance added good procedures to the game as well. Okay, Steiner. They're both 10 euros. Yeah, I said man the guns. I heard you. Okay, so these guys are done. trained. Yeah, I haven't bought the last two DLCs for the game because I've exclusively been playing Black Ice for the last year or so, and there's no content from the South American one that is incorporated into Black Ice. Therefore, since I don't play vanilla, there's no sense in me getting that DLC. The the one dealing with the North countries is a DLC I'll probably pick up, and I'm thinking about it now that it's on sale. It might be a good time to pick it up. Okay, I got my two barriers back. You think Arms Against Tyranny is one of the best DLCs? Japan is taking bauxite from me all the way around the world, and food and iron? Wow. The international market mechanic is really important. Yeah, I haven't played with that. And I don't know whether that would be incorporated into Black Ice if I had that mod or not. That's something I don't know because it's not here in the game. Somebody was questioning me about that the other day when I was playing, because I had a situation where I needed something I could buy. So, yeah, the international market mechanic is something that I think is interesting. 15. Another 15 units. Just keep producing them. 2.8 million. I'm going to have a 3 million man army before I'm done. Providing I don't start losing hundreds of thousands in Russia. Bulgaria cancels the non-aggression pact. What's going on with Bulgaria? What are you doing, Bulgaria? Why did you cancel the non-aggression pact? So, you have an interesting comment. Sell your old planes if you don't need them and get paid. Yes. But what I think is really sad for you is that every time you build a navy, you use it in one battle, and you get sunk the whole, and you sink the whole enemy fleet. And after that, I have nothing to do with your big navy. Gee, what a terrible problem to actually win. Terrible problem. Proclaim the Greater German Reich. You can do that. Hey, British submarines getting sunk. That's good. Six, 9, 15, 21, 33, 36. Not bad since the last time I looked. Yeah, if you're going to buy supplies from me, Japan, you're going to have to defend your convoys. One coastal, that isn't too bad. There's the big city hall clock beside my place. I just heard it. I don't hear it all the time, but 10 bells is a lot to miss. Soviets asked for shipbuilding cooperation. Oh, I get 25 Navy experience, 3 research bonus for ships. Soviet Union gets 3 20% research bonus for battleship models, battlecruiser models, and heavy naval guns. Naval research. I get 25 naval experience and 3 research bonuses for ships. Is that a fair trade? Oh man, if I want to remain at peace until I have nuclear bombs, the naval treaties from the Soviet Union isn't going to hurt me. We'll go ahead with the deal. Trading with the commies. Ugh. Trading with the commies. Okay, what do we got here? You forgot to tell me about your new hobby yesterday. You found out that some people think that communism and socialism is the same. Really? Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that think communism is just a little bit more powerful socialism. That's the way I've heard a lot of people describe it. Canada is socialist. It is not communist. Birdies, what's outside? Are there outside birdies out there or something? FM radio. Political power game. Would like to get that. Foreign labor. Guilds and colleges. Let's go with that. Never done it. Let's do it. We no longer get the effects from Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Okay. It is now over with the Soviets. The gauntlets are off, I think. Oh, what did you say? You said something you can't say there. Your message was canceled because of that word. You cannot use that word. You cannot use that word in chat here. And if I allow it on this post, then it would be allowed in any other form. I can authorize things and I can whatever, but I agree that your statement is not a nice thing in society to see, but let's keep off the current things. Oh, I can read it. Yeah, I can definitely read it, but it can't be posted to the chat. That's not acceptable for public consumption. Finally, the 50. This has been the gun that's been holding me up. I'm way behind on some of this. Yeah, well, he doesn't want to have a discussion about the topic, just wants to express their viewpoint. Okay, so I have medium anti-tanks, and I've got 170 that I've captured. So where can I start using these? Not there. Motorized medium anti-tank. Okay, I can start using them here. That's good. Okay, now. Light anti-tank. I've got a ton of light anti-tank. I'm not going to need light anti-tank probably anymore. Well, some people don't want to have discussions. They just don't want to argue. They just want to make their statement because they know they're right. And they don't know how to articulate their thoughts, to express and convey their understanding. Which is sad, because I think that's the root of a lot of problems historically around the world, is lack of being able to convey ideas on your reasons for thinking what you think. I think there's been more wars and difficulties in the past because of misunderstandings than actual just domination and exploitation. Your ancestors paid with their life to destroy fascism, but nowadays people like this showed up. Yeah, well, conversation is the way to get around that, and I agree that that's an issue. But let's try and keep off the current comments about today. Let's talk about it historically. Because I had an uncle that died in World War II. I had uncles that fought in World War II. And I know some very good people that fought for Germany in World War II. And Kurt, one man who I know was a German submariner, was a believer in Hitler when he was growing up in the 1930s. And his father and his uncle had arguments. At least they had a discord going about the pluses and minuses of the politics of the fascists in the 1930s. And Kurt, as he saw more of the world, changed his opinion because of a lot of the arguments that his uncle had with his father. He understood over time his uncle's arguments on why fascism was not good for Germany in the 1930s. So, if Kurt would have had more of that conversation earlier, then, his approach to fascism in the 1930s may have been different. So we can learn from history and know that to beat some of the problems that have happened in the past, one of the solutions is conversation. And lecturing, telling people that you're right and they're wrong, is not conversation. Rommel gains experience. Go Rommel. Oh my, Rommel. I think logistics expert, that's something you can pass on to the whole bunch. I think logistics master. Okay, there's a Panzer III castmate with a coaxial machine gun. Now, what can I do with that? That would be this. Being modified. Let's put up that. And we can change the turret. With that. And add a machine gun. So that just gives me a little bit more soft firepower. Yeah, well, you know, Captain, we're sitting here enjoying a game about an era when our ancestors were on the edge of the coin, kind of coming from different directions about solving a world problem. So always nice to chat with you, Captain. We'll see you another time. I'll only be streaming for another half hour or so, and then I'll be back tomorrow with this game again. I think I'm going to add an armored skirt to this. That's slowing me down. Oh, these tanks are getting expensive. How very German. Make very, very expensive big tanks and keep changing the design. How very German of me. Hello, birdies. Yep, I saw Bonnie do a poopy. We got it. We're on top of it. Thank you, Clyde, for telling me. Yeah, Bonnie, we know. Okay, he's got the canal. I can get into the Mediterranean now. The long way around with ships. Weekly war support, weekly war support. Stability and weekly war support for 90 days. Let's do that. Yugoslavia claims Macedonia. What? That's going to be interesting. And you've stopped your non-aggression pact with me. That could be interesting. Night fighters, almost getting ready for a unit. Quite ready. Not quite ready. Not quite. You two are ready. And you are now here. Not quite ready. Not quite ready. It's a tactical bomber. Mixed tactical bomber unit. Yeah. Okay. You've done your training. And you're ready ready for the Balkans as well, which could turn out to be Russia. You're technically still building. You're still training. Okay. We'll take a night fighter unit in as well. All these guys. And start training. 21 units in training. 22, 28. That's like 40% of my Air Force is in training. Eh. A lot better there. Well. Okay, I'm adding 100 there. Hopefully we can wrap that one up. Should eliminate Norway. The new Condor. Fast bomber. Here's fast bombers what I'm down to. Gonna be the last Condor model. Where is it? Okay, those are expensive planes. Okay, I can probably start moving my Navy north. Beautiful. Okay, Norway is pretty much defeated. It's just a matter of running north. Okay. Well, I don't need to fight Sweden. I think the armor can actually be pulled out of Norway now. Let's get it back to Oslo. I can't believe all the damage this one ship. He caught one pocket battleship. This is the second one. But the amount of freight they have sunk in the Indian Ocean is huge. Oh, look at this. They lost a battleship, huh? Oh, you lost the Andrea Doria. And 7 destroyers. Oh my. Not good, Italy. Oh, this is nice. Excellent. I took some damage, but I definitely won. Why'd you return to there? Yeah, definitely took some serious damage. That's going to slow up production. $1.7 months for the knives now. It got hurt. I'm definitely getting my naval dockyards pounded in this war. He's all but finished. Nope. Engine problems. Norway's just about done. Okay. Okay, how am I doing on tanks? Mediums, CS, 66 medium, cavalry tank destroyers, 76. Okay. Down 2. Don't have enough light tank destroyers, but we'll convert anyway. Everything else transfers fine. That's going to give me more medium tanks. How's that doing on the mechanized? Only 200, okay. That's good. That transfers that. Now I should be able to transfer you up to that. No, that's not good. Just hold on. But I can transfer that to that. Okay. Power plant upgrade. That was needed. Supply and controlled states plus 4%. Improved anti-tank upgrade. Combat engineers. Keep going. Why did you knock down, Birdie? Oh, I see what you did. You knocked down the fly paper roll. Bugger, you're lucky you didn't get your feathers all stuck on it, you silly. I guess you figured it out, how to get rid of it. This was combat engineer. So many other things to get rid of. Explosive teams. I really want explosive teams. I really want that. I really need that. need so many things. Oh, there we go. Norway has capitulated. More stuff and things. Norway has capitulated. And we've got British south of Narvik. Do that by a naval move. What do you want, birdies? What's your problem? Huh? One little British soldier in the middle of Norway. Well, I'm getting the fuel, and I'm using less fuel per unit. Okay, what do we have? I've got 2. Okay, let's infiltrate civilian. Nico. Simon. Okay. Bloody marvelous. Bloody marvelous. 143 days for nuclear weapons production to start, but I don't have the reactors done. Two days for V1 rockets. September, going to be October 43. Start using V1s. Okay, I think this is going to be a good place to leave it. So if you want to see more Black Ice for Hearts of Iron 4, let me know any unusual scenarios or types of games you'd like to see played. I'm always interested in different playthroughs. I think I may play England on the next playthrough. Great Britain. I haven't decided yet on that. I may do a small country before I do that. I haven't had a good British playthrough in a very, very long time. And I haven't done an American playthrough in Black Ice in forever. So I may do that. So I'll have to think on that, see what people want. So definitely subscribe if you want to see more Black Ice for Hearts of Iron 4. And I want to hear your comments, and so do Bonnie and Clyde, my two green sheet conures. They know I'm wrapping up here, so that's why they're getting excited. So until next time, all you people and bots out there, hope you're having a good one, and be good to each other. Take care. Bye-bye.